the business we are in at LSU, providing a world-class experience for our student athletes to compete and earn their degrees.
Hello Tiger fans, I'm Emily Dixon and you're watching Inside LSU Sports presented by Community Coffee. We have a lot to get to in this week's episode, jumping all around campus with the start of SEC competition in gymnastics, a big win for Kim Mulkey and the Tigers, plus we have updates on both the football and baseball fronts. So with so much to get to, let's get started first with LSU Gymnastics head coach Jay Clark and Mike Smith as they recap their trip to Athens and a 16th straight win over the Bulldogs.
Inside LSU Sports, presented by Community Coffee, is brought to you each week by the 8 partners that represent Team LSU. Cox, the official communications provider of LSU Athletics. McDonald's, official sponsor of the LSU Tigers. Our Lady of the Lake, official healthcare provider of LSU Athletics. Planet Fitness, official gym partner of the LSU Tigers. Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of LSU Athletics. Hancock Whitney, the official bank of the LSU Tigers. People's Health, the official health plan of LSU Athletics. And by Coca-Cola, official beverage partner of the LSU Tigers. This segment of Inside LSU Sports is brought to you each week by Bud Light.
We bring the intensity, we bring the focus. You get knocked down, you get back up. Get up and master your craft and have a freaking blast.
Let's go, Tigers!
Fun to compete tonight. We haven't done it for almost 2 weeks now, so it was really exciting. Kind of felt like the first time, but we took a step forward and we're going to take another step forward next week.
Hello Tiger fans and welcome once again inside LSU Sports from the LSU Gymnastics Training Center. On the floor, we've got so much to talk about this week with head coach Jay Clark of our LSU Gymnastics team. Jay, how great was it to be back on the road? For the first time this season, you got to actually go through meet prep all the way from loading the bus to catching the charter aircraft to the power circle and everything that takes place before you get to the opponent's gym. But how great was it, first of all, just to get through those motions?
Well, it was. I mean, it was something that even in the middle of the week, I was calling the Georgia coach to make sure that we weren't going to get a surprise again, because it seemed like it was a pattern that was developing. But just to be able to follow through, get on the road for our first road meet, and in many ways it was our first meet because it had been 3 weeks since we had anything go on. And so to be able to get out there and go through the jitters and do all of those things and still have a pretty effective meet, it was good. It was good. The road trips are very good for our team bonding, and the kids really invest in one another on those trips, and so we were able to experience some of that, and that's real growth begins to happen when you can get on the road and do those things.
A very interesting dichotomy in the sense that obviously it's the freshman first time to get on the bus and on the plane and move towards a visiting arena, but we had some super seniors that had an opportunity to go back to Georgia now for the third time, especially some one Georgia native in particular, and I know that they were particularly interested in sharing stories and making sure that everything went just right on the road for those younger ones that are experiencing for the first time.
Yeah, and going to Georgia, they have a good atmosphere over there. It's been our super seniors have had a great deal of success over there. I think they've gone undefeated against that team during the regular season, maybe altogether. I don't know. But for Sammy, it was kind of brought a finality to it for her, and for Elena, it was a first-time experience. So, they were excited for different reasons. I think Sammy was pretty low key about it. I think Elena was a little amped up about it, and so there, there's the difference in between the experience level there. But great experience. It's a good place to go. Of course, my family, we see a lot of friends and family that are still over there. My entire family was able to drive over for the meet, and that part was good. So it was a good first road trip.
And speaking of great road trips, of course, it's important on the road. You go to the uneven bars first in a dual meet, and against the Georgia Gym Dogs in Stegman Coliseum, that was no different. It looked like it was landings to start that. I know that brought a smile to your face.
It did. I mean, we started again on fire on that event. We really did. I was so pleased with how they came out of the gates swinging. You never know when it's the first time you get on equipment that's not your own. All of these things feel different. They all look the same, but they feel different based on the tension, the apparatus that they're set up with, the floor they're on top of. They can flex and bounce differently, and our kids made great adjustments during the long warm-up prior to the meet and really came out on fire. I think we stuck the first 4 landings of the entire meet and really came out of the gates fast. Comfortable lead for the Tigers over the Gym Dogs after one rotation. You flip it over to vaulting, and it looked like, again, you were trying to, you talked early on about knocking some of that rust off, and it looked like on vaulting that's exactly what the Tigers were going through that process. Yeah, it was interesting. I was talking to Garrett after the meet and watching from the back. All of our round-offs looked a little bit off. Even in warm-ups, they just were not, I don't know if it was a visual thing. When you go into different arenas and the space is so large, sometimes the background, whether it's bright or dark, can kind of affect your depth perception. And things just looked a little wonky, for lack of a better term, and they never really came back from that. We vaulted okay. The vaults were all very big, but we had some directional issues and things of that nature that prevented us from really taking advantage of what I thought was an opportunity to put that meet away right away. And halfway through the meet, we could have easily been up by over a point. Well, the Tigers do have a lead at the halfway point against the Georgia Gym Dogs in Stegman Coliseum, a big SEC road meet. The second half we'll cover right after this quick timeout inside LSU Sports.
You need more layers, diagonal layers.
I got it, Ron. Thanks.
Leave him alone, Dad. Oh, honey, you should use ice blocks instead of cubes.
No, Bud Light Seltzer goes on top.
Diagonal layers.
Did you pre-chill the Bud Light lemonades?
Need more ice. And diagonal layers.
I mean, if you're gonna do it right.
I don't need my hands getting cold.
Why don't you try using the Plumsky method?
Brings out the citrus notes.
Dad?
Gotta crush the ice, son.
Okay, I'm out.
What's his problem?
Whenever packing the cooler really matters, there's a Bud Light there.
Mommy, guess what? We're rich.
Hi, that's fake, mi amor. Ice cream?
Yeah!
Okay.
Protect your connected devices with advanced security included with Cox Panoramic Wi-Fi.
We get it. It feels like everything has changed. Masking up, changing demands at work, fewer gatherings. But one thing hasn't changed. Our commitment to your health. It's why Our Lady of the Lake Physician Group keeps finding better ways to serve you. Video visits with one of our providers, online scheduling, weekend hours, and nearly 100 locations where providers know your medical history. Our Lady of the Lake Physician Group, providing you with the best care where and when you need it.
As humankind faces its most critical challenges yet, the world demands leaders, and LSU is taking up the charge. The research we do here goes everywhere to protect communities threatened by climate change, so you can live your life with fewer worries about tomorrow. We're formulating a better way for everyone, because at LSU, our calling is humanity.
LSU Tigers fans, show your pride with real Tigers gear from the official online store, lsushop.net. You'll find everything a Tigers fan needs, including jerseys, sideline gear, polos, t-shirts, hats, and more. With an awesome selection of over 4,100 products, including official team merchandise from Nike, when it comes to Tigers pride, there's only one place real Tigers fans go, lsushop.net.
This segment of Inside LSU Sports is brought to you each week by Assurance Financial. When you find the home you want to buy, choose a mortgage lender that can help you buy it. David Alello with Assurance Financial. Lending the way home buyers prefer it.
Welcome back inside LSU Sports, talking LSU Gymnastics once again this week with head coach Jay Clark. Jay, at the halfway point of the first SEC road meet of the season at Georgia, you've got a bit of a lead, but it was an uncomfortable lead, and you had a chance to sort of huddle up the Tigers and point out a few things to them.
Yeah, and it was really just about sustaining the energy. Look, we know that in our first meet we started fast and kind of tapered off at the end, and don't want that to become a pattern. I need to remind them that the sustained mental focus and the energy that they are pushing each other with has to be there. I wanted them to be upset with the way that they finished out bars and went into vault. Not that it was bad, not that it was horrible. We certainly still had maintained a lead over a very good team, but that we really needed to kind of bring it a little bit more and go to these final two events and really just salt this thing away. And it didn't go exactly as I planned, but they did enough. And the nice part was you made it through what was effectively our first road meet without having but one fall through the entire thing.
So, Jay, you're over to the floor exercise there in the third rotation. It's an opportunity for you again to settle in, but it looked like that the Tigers were trying to absorb some landings and kind of push through, but you found a way to really scratch and maintain that lead.
Well, and that's the thing I told them is that the fight they showed throughout the meet was excellent. We were struggling to land. We were rusty on landings. We have not taken a lot of hard landings, and so that showed. That showed throughout our entire floor rotation and on vault as well. So that's something that we've got to get nailed down, but I was proud of the fight. I was proud of the thing. They never let up. They just kept scratching and clawing their way through it, and that's encouraging as a coach. When you have a team that can show that kind of resiliency, that continues to scratch and claw their way through something just to get to the top of the mountain. They could have easily let some of those mistakes snowball, and they never did, and they just kept fighting their way through it.
Impressed I was with a couple of Tigers in particular. KJ Johnson continues to impress, and then also that senior, more experienced, not quite a senior, but that more experienced leadership in Alona Shinikova. I think those two really helped set a tone for the remainder of the meet.
Well, there's no doubt. The first four routines were, we weren't getting great scores over there, and those two came up and did what we expected them to do, and that settled everybody down going into beam because then we realized, okay, we can put this thing away and be done with it. I thought that KJ did a great job, obviously, but I was really pleased with Alona because Alona had not started the meet very well, and there was a time in her career where that would have gotten out of control on her and got climbed all over her, and she was able to come back and give us that lone 9-9 that we got on floor came out of her.
And then that settling approach when you flipped it over to the balance beam on the road trying to finish the SEC meet on that tough event, that level of settle, I think, really shone brightly in the form of Christina Desiderio. That's extra senior right there to lead things off.
Christina does not get enough credit for everything that she contributes. She's a steadying force just in her presence, but also in her consistency on the events that she does. And being that first up is the most important spot in the entire meet, is that first up person. It's somebody that can do one of two things. They can either cast doubt and cause things to get out of control, or they can really settle everybody's nerves because beam is such a mental event. It's really much more about the mental than it is the physical. It's very similar to, I draw analogies to golf all the time because the margin for error is so small on a 4-inch wide piece of apparatus 4 feet off the ground, and she does a great job of setting the table for us.
And then I thought the lineup just pushed right on through, and you could sense that with each routine that victory was right there in their eyes.
Yeah, you felt better and better as we went through it. We got, Aaliyah Finnegan was her first routine up as a collegiate competitor, and she's on the road, and it was a tight meet, and for her to be able to do the beam set she did, I think it's directly related to the way Christina went about her business, and then Aaliyah went up and did hers, and that really, once we got past that one, I felt like we're going to be okay, and the back four are going to do their job.
The Tigers with a big victory on the road against the Georgia Gym Dogs to move to 1-0 in the Southeastern Conference. And Jay, there is no rest for the weary, because coming into the Maravich Center on Saturday afternoon, the Auburn Tigers, and they have started their season off in a very big way.
Well, it's an exciting time for the SEC because Auburn is scratching and clawing their way to the top of the conference. They've got Sunisa Lee, who's the reigning Olympic all-around champion. And we've got a great team too. We're optimistic that this week, if things hold, that we'll see Haley on more events, that we potentially will see Kaya do all 4 for the first time. So it could be a great meet in the PMAC this weekend, and there's very few tickets left. So we need those who have them, get your butts in those seats or put somebody's butt in those seats. And if you don't have them, better get them quick.
Not very many tickets at all. LSUTix.net to go grab what remains, but if you have them, as Coach said, get there on Saturday afternoon. 2:45 is when the introductions will happen. 3 o'clock first vault. It should be an exciting time, Jay. All the best to you in the training this week. I know that the Tigers are going to have that eye of the Tiger against Auburn on Saturday.
Thanks so much, Mike. Should be a great week.
And thank you for joining us once again. LSU Gymnastics, we're off to a great start. Much more right inside LSU Sports after this timeout.
Taking a chance. Family. Like birds of a feather. Family. Kick off your shoes and dance. Hey!
Some traditions just keep getting better and better. Ford F-Series, the official truck of the NFL and America's best-selling trucks 44 years and counting.
Now is the time for new beginnings. For holding each other's hands. For encouraging each other. And for working together. At Women's, our mission is to improve the health of all women and infants. So today, we're focused on new ways to care for you and keep you safe. Because seeing you healthy and strong is important to us.
You need more layers, diagonal layers.
I got it, Ron. Thanks.
Leave him alone, Dad. Oh, honey, you should use ice blocks instead of cubes.
No, Bud Light Seltzer goes on top.
Diagonal layers.
Did you pre-chill the Bud Light lemonades?
Need more ice. And diagonal layers.
I mean, if you're gonna do it right.
I don't need my hands getting cold.
Why don't you try using the Plumsky method?
Brings out the citrus notes.
Dad?
Gotta crush the ice, son.
Okay, I'm out.
What's his problem?
Whenever packing the cooler really matters, there's a Bud Light there.
As humankind faces its most critical challenges yet, the world demands leaders, and LSU is taking up the charge. The research we do here goes everywhere to protect communities threatened by climate change, so you can live your life with fewer worries about tomorrow. We're formulating a better way for everyone, because at LSU, our calling is humanity.
LSU Tigers fans, show your pride with real Tigers gear from the official online store, lsushop.net. You'll find everything a Tigers fan needs, including jerseys, sideline gear, polos, t-shirts, hats, and more. With an awesome selection of over 4,100 products, including official team merchandise from Nike, when it comes to Tigers pride, there's only one place real Tigers fans go, lsushop.net.
This segment of Inside LSU Sports is brought to you each week by TJ Rizz, legendary Louisiana barbecue.
As today, your Fighting Tigers of LSU host the Wildcats from the University of Kentucky. Morris will go left baseline to the hole, runner off the glass and in. Times and Afua got it. That was Newby again, keeping it alive. Morris for three. She bangs it home from the top of the key. But Cherry tips it out to Payne. Free throw line jumper, Payne is good.
Another second chance basket. Those second chance points are huge.
14 of them off of misses. Now at the top, stolen by Cherry. Cherry all by herself to the bucket, it's good. Cherry to the free throw line, gets it to Pointer, left wing three, to tie, she got it. Jumper, it rolled the rim, wouldn't go, Afua tips it in. And LSU with a big fourth quarter. They overcome a 5-point deficit, and they beat Kentucky 78-69. LSU put up 30 in the fourth quarter.
It was win number 650 for Hall of Fame coach Kim Mulkey. And in true Mulkey fashion, the Tigers grinded it out and found a way. Here's what Mulkey had to say after the Tigers win over Kentucky, and a few thoughts from Kayla Pointer, who turned in 19 points in the fourth quarter.
I can't remember exactly what I said in that timeout before the fourth, but somewhere along the lines in that fourth quarter, I just said, guys, it's like you ever watch boxing on TV? It's like two heavyweights, and they just dying. You got to fight through it. Both teams were tired. Both teams only played 7 players. Just keep grinding. You can't stop shooting. You can't stop defending. You just played against a Kentucky team that was picked 5th in this league that has the preseason pick for Player of the Year, probably the #1 pick in the draft. We knew we had our hands full with her.
It's no secret that, I was kind of struggling, first half, even in that third. But Coach said at halftime, just stay the course. Said a lot of stuff to us at halftime, but that's one thing that stuck with me in my head, and I was like, I'm just going to stay the course, but right now my shots aren't falling, that's fine, but maybe I can get Lex a shot, or maybe I can feed Foss, or let me try to get a steal on defense, or something else that can maybe get me going. And that's really what it was. I just stayed the course, and then, when the ball came around, and still continue to have that confidence in myself regardless of how I've been shooting for the rest of the night, but was able to make some, tough shots for the team, and I'm happy we was able to win that stretch and pull out the game.
This is the hardest month coming up of our season. And it's not just us, it's all women's basketball, it's all men's basketball, because you're tired. You're tired mentally, you're tired physically. We've been all doing this since October. Everybody knows everything about each other in scouting reports. It's going to be a grind. And then when you're done with conference play, everybody goes, phew, now we can move on to the NCAA playoffs. But we got to keep grinding out. We got to keep trying to win ball games because we want to do something that hasn't been done here in a few years.
We're Dudley DeBosier. As an official partner of LSU Athletics, we love being back here on campus.
It's where we began our journey as lawyers.
And it keeps us connected to the community we pledged to serve.
This place has made a difference in so many lives across the state.
And it inspires us to do the same.
We're a law firm that cares about this community.
And that's the Dudley DeBosier difference.
Demand Dudley DeBosier, official partner of LSU Athletics. 444-4444. You need more layers, diagonal layers.
I got it, Ron. Thanks.
Leave him alone, Dad. Oh, honey, you should use ice blocks instead of cubes.
No, Bud Light Seltzer goes on top.
Diagonal layers.
Did you pre-chill the Bud Light lemonades? Need more ice.
And diagonal layers.
I mean, if you're gonna do it right.
I don't need my hands getting cold.
Why don't you try using the Plumsky method? Brings out the citrus notes. Dad?
Gotta crush the ice, son.
Okay, I'm out.
What's his problem?
Whenever packing the cooler really, really matters, there's a Bud Light there.
Mommy, guess what? We're lit.
Hi, that's fake, mi amor. Ice cream?
Yeah.
Okay.
Protect your connected devices with advanced security included with Cox Panoramic Wi-Fi.
As humankind faces its most critical challenges yet, the world demands leaders, and LSU is taking up the charge. The research we do here goes everywhere to protect communities threatened by climate change, so you can live your life with fewer worries about tomorrow. We're formulating a better way for everyone, because at LSU, our calling is humanity.
When you support, she soars. When you donate, he delivers. When you provide, they prevail. Since 1987, TAF members have lifted the minds, bodies, and spirits of LSU student athletes, making sure they have what they need to succeed in competition, the classroom, and in life. When you give, they go.
This segment of Inside LSU Sports is brought to you each week by Our Lady of the Lake Children's Health, one of Louisiana's largest pediatric healthcare networks.
Ooh, let's get it. First team run. 5:41. Let's get it.
We outside today. Before you wake up.
Wake it up, baby.
Well, the emphasis of today, right? Details. Details. Pay attention. to what we're saying, how we're coaching it. Hey! Get to the line, touch the line, and get out! Okay, we're gonna do tug of war. Here we go.
LSU strength and conditioning coach Jake Flynn is settling into his new role with LSU football. And as you can see, the Tigers are back at work preparing for their first spring practice under new head coach Brian Kelly. Right across the street, another new head coach is getting his team ready for the upcoming season. Jay Johnson and the Tigers took to the field at Alex Box for the first official practice of the season. And here's a look at how things went for the number 3 ranked baseball team in the country. That's it for this week's show, but we are at the midway point in SEC hoops. Gymnastics and track and field are just getting rolling, and baseball and softball are on the horizon. So get ready for a busy month, Tiger fans. I'm Emily Dixon, and as always, thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Inside LSU Sports presented by Community Coffee. We'll see you next week.
Inside LSU Sports, presented by Community Coffee, is brought to you each week by the 8 partners that represent Team LSU. Cox, the official communications provider of LSU Athletics. McDonald's, official sponsor of the LSU Tigers. Our Lady of the Lake, official healthcare provider of LSU Athletics. Planet Fitness, official gym partner of the LSU Tigers. Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of LSU Athletics. Hancock Whitney, the official bank of the LSU Tigers. People's Health, the official health plan of LSU Athletics. And by Coca-Cola, official beverage partner of the LSU Tigers.
This is the business we are in at LSU, providing a world-class experience for our student athletes to compete and earn their degrees.